What do you know about chemtrails?
To be honest, I've never heard that term before in my life.
Okay, this was taken on the 2nd of January. She's looking at a photograph I took
Yeah,
on the 2nd of
interesting.
January, yeah. That's a photo of a chemtrail. Do you know what a chemtrail is?
No.
Hey bro, do you know about chemtrails?
No, not of lately, no.
Do you know what a chemtrail is?
No, I don't.
Do you mind if I filmed you?
No,
This is to
it's
go on
alright.
YouTube. I'm trying to find out how many people know about chemtrails
Yeah.
and what it's doing to the New Zealand population.
Yeah, no, I don't personally know a lot about it, but my uncle talks about it, how they're dumping. Yeah.
They're dumping.
Yeah, my uncle just says that they're dumping, chemicals as they're going over top of, different places. He reckons that the trail that you see is actually chemicals or something. And I thought, that's a bit weird. I thought it was just basically the reaction with the atmosphere, like the cold and the warm. Yeah, so I didn't actually believe him.
Right,
I thought, nah. But now that you're saying it, it's like it's backed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. They're trying to tell us that carbon dioxide is the problem when they're dropping chemtrails on us.
Yes, you probably will be.
This drought is man-made. I put this here because I want people to question the cause of the drought. Weather modification has been done for years now. They don't have to experiment anymore.
Call it testing. And thousands of aircraft missions they mention where they're spraying particulates out that then form nuclei that form clouds. Or they spray nuclei out that form clouds. And then White House Science Czar came out last year in his first speech, it's AP video, and said we need to terraform, geoengineer the planet. And that university you mentioned is one of the main ones. Stanford's involved. I mean, literally, Department of Energy, other governments. And I was out back with the kids playing football this weekend, and I sat back in a lawn chair with my wife. We were drinking lemonade, and I looked up at like 35,000 feet and saw jets going over, and the trails were disappearing within 30 seconds. And I was like, wow, a good old-fashioned condensation trail. Remember when you were a kid, it was kind of neat to see them because you didn't see them that often. And at sunset, you'd see them, and you'd see these orange streaks in the night sky up where the sunlight was still coming over the earth. And in fact, sometimes it could, depending on the tilt of the earth, it could even be dark outside, but still up at, say, 50,000 feet, the sun's light was coming over, and you'd see these beautiful condensation trails. Now, starting at about 96, trails at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet in the summer. When at 5,000 feet, it's 80 degrees, 75 degrees. There's no ice crystals up there, and it stays there for an hour and dissipates, and, doesn't dissipate, and then turns into these big cloud banks. And then we get the government documents. Forget the scientist's name. He got a Nobel Prize in 92 for the geoengineering plan, how to put the particulates out from jets, how to compartmentalize it where the jet pilots don't even know what's going on, and how to manipulate the weather. And so and it turns out that in 95 is when the major testing, they call it testing. And now Obama says we're going to go full bore with this. I can't imagine what full bore. In fact, put that article back up, please. You just found a great article. That's an Infowars.net article. Obama's plan to geoengineer the planet mirrors CFR policy documents. Yeah, the CFR in the 90s said geoengineer. They had another one in May of 2008. And don't believe Infowars.net. Second paragraph, link to the AP. Fifth paragraph, link to the CFR. In fact, let's on screen for people. Let's click the CFR document. Let's go to the CFR that basically writes our laws. And let's click on this live on TV for people. Oh, see, here's your chemtrails. Loading. And CFR site's loading. There it is. Oh, Council on Foreign Relations Geoengineering Workshop on Unilateral Planetary Scale Geoengineering. Oh, Oh, but I'm a conspiracy theorist. I mean, what are we doing here? Well, why are we putting up with this? I mean, these people are playing God. And they admit they're doing it in policy papers, but then when you talk about it, they go, shut up, lunatic.
We've been talking with William Thomas. Discuss that. William, we'll start with you. Discuss the official response to questions raised by people like you and the quality of the evidence and argumentation.
Well, I think that, again, the most common argument put forward by officialdom is that these are normal contrails spread by an increase in air traffic, and we've already discussed how NASA itself has disputed that, saying actual condensation trails from aircraft are decreasing despite the increased air traffic. So that really doesn't fly. As far as the tinfoil hat brigade, in my book, I list quite a number of military pilots, police officers, and other people like that, trained professionals, trained in observation, who have come forward with their names and said, we are seeing some very strange things relating to these trails in the sky, relating to cobwebs draped over the Denver airport in one case, the police officer's own uniform in another case. These people have come forward. I would not denigrate them with the tin hat appellation. They're very respectable observers, and there's quite a lot of them. And finally, I would say, and this is what got me going on the story, George, I was originally assigned to this by Environment News Service back in the winter of '98, and the editor there, Jim Crabtree, called me up and said, would you check out a videotape by some guy named William Wallace in Washington State? He's living up there in the mountains very remotely with his wife, and he says these planes are flying back and forth, spreading these trails. So he sent me the tape, and I watched it, and I started laughing. I have to admit, I said, come on, these are contrails. You know, what's going on here? I'm a former pilot, an ocean sailor, and I tell you, after about 20 minutes, I stopped laughing because those trails lingered and spread out and covered the whole sky, and I knew those are not normal contrails that I was watching. And so as I began following up eyewitness accounts and being led from person to person across the entire United States until I had literally hundreds of written evidence from these people describing what they were seeing, I realized, George, that, you know, as you said off the top of the show, people, we've been looking at contrails for our entire lives. Nobody really looks at them twice. And yet why were hundreds, even thousands of people in the United States, Europe, and Canada stopping their cars, pulling off the highway, pulling their families and friends out of their homes and dragging them outside and pointing to the sky and saying, look at that, have you ever seen anything like that? Shooting miles of videotape, thousands of photographs of contrails? No, this was something very unusual that no one had ever seen before.
Coast to coast.